Good afternoon to everybody in Nigeria. I'm Dr. Kemi Lawrence. Welcome to Kemi Talks AI. We have breaking news coming out of Nigeria where we're learning that the National Assembly has banned journalists from covering the proceedings inside the hearing of VDM, Bobrisky, the EFCC, and the Nigerian corrections. I repeat, breaking news coming out of Nigeria. The National Assembly, reps and senators have banned journalists and media from covering the proceedings inside the National Assembly chambers of VDM, Bobrisky, the EFCC, and the Nigerian correction system. This is a public case of very huge magnitude, and a public case like this, with a lot of public interest, this big, should not be a place where you're banning media. Once again, President Tinubu, you're taking our rights from us in the constitution of the Nigerian government. I am sitting on top of two constitutions, the U.S. Constitution and the Nigerian Constitution. The U.S. Constitution has a First Amendment right, which allows journalists to have freedom of speech and freedom of expression and freedom of the press. The First Amendment actually allows the ordinary citizen to have that first two, freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Now, freedom of the press goes in the First Amendment of the Constitution because we as journalists should be able to cover anything. I am a retired journalist of 30 years. We have the freedom of the press in the Nigerian Constitution. It has always been a problem because journalists are constantly arrested because of the cybercrime law of 2013, which we're going to strike down very soon. I'm going to lead that whole thing in the international media. You are stopping voices from talking. You're preventing us from covering things we should be covering. And this is exactly what I'm telling the Nigerian public to remember in the Mohbad case. The Falana family were the first to go in there and wrote the judge to bar journalists from inside the courthouse for the inquest. This is why my interns went in there as regular members of the public, and they were able to use phones to videotape everything going on inside, just like the public. Now, the National Assembly, where we actually elect lawmakers to do the work we ask them to go and do, are now hiding something from us. I sure hope Mr. Falana was not behind that, because he's all over the place now, and his fraudulent activities are coming out one by one. Look at what's going on with NSARS. I'm not saying a word yet, but I've been vindicated once again. Back-to-back vindication, I tell you. For the NSARS thing, you see what's going on? The people that hijacked that whole NSARS thing from us online and took it to the streets were even collecting money from the government. 100 million. 100 million. And Mr. Falana was telling them to accept it as a gift. A gift. Instead of distributing it between those shot by the army and all. A gift. You see what's going on? And it goes to be telling big back. Eli hiding forever or Eli hiding forever. Listen to what I just said. Eli hiding forever, but Eli hiding forever. Every day for the thief, one day for the owner. I really hope Falana was not behind that. Because there's nothing in the rule of law and there's nothing in the Nigerian Constitution that says journalists should be barred from certain hearings. This is a case that has a lot of public interest. And the magnitude of this case is not what we need right now for you to bar journalists. You're hiding something. Like I said, the time in Nigeria is 2 p.m. now compared to where I am. It's 2 p.m. in Nigeria. And I sent a quick message to DJ Adeyanju. I doubt if he might see it. If he sees it by any chance, it might be too late when he sees it. I am asking Mr. Adeyanju to stop the hearings, and VDM will not testify. VDM must not testify until he requests that the media be present in the hearing. We have seen children who have lost their lives. Underage children on Facebook, on Instagram, on even Spiegel's Snapchat and all that. And in the U.S. Congress, these CEOs have been summoned to Capitol Hill. And it's not just them. Different companies, different things. When you summon someone to Capitol Hill, they come out there to testify, and the public is allowed in there to a certain degree of how many spaces they have, but the media is a yes. The media has to be there because it's a case of public interest, and these are lawmakers representing us. President Tinubu, remember the Ghana case I always tell you guys about? Ghana legislators passed an anti-gay law last year. The president has refused to sign it. With that being said, a single journalist went to the Supreme Court of Ghana and filed a case against the lawmakers. What did he write? He said he doesn't like homophobia. Is he gay? No. Is he a lesbian? No. Does he have a gay? What? He's not. He just doesn't like hate. He's like me. He thinks like me. But he took that thing to the Supreme Court of Ghana and they held the bill. And the president said, I'm not signing it. So the opposition in Ghana was like, oh, yeah, the president knows the kid. Maybe he's paid him. No, he doesn't know the president, and the president hasn't paid him. This is just the power of the media. The media is the most powerful organization in Nigeria. And watch what's going to happen with the Nigerian media. As always, daft, slow, not trained properly. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to fight it. They'll just stand outside like in Mohbad's case. Falana barred journalists inside the inquest for Mohbad's case. I had to send my interns in there as members of the public. Did you see what happened inside? People holding their phones up, videotaping Wumi and everything, but yet journalists were outside waiting for the media scrum from the lawyers who come out of the hearing to address them. And that's why my interns went as regular people in there, disguised as part of the public. And that was what Falana did with his daughter. His daughter was the one that filed it. It was in Folakemi's name. He's trying to promote his daughter to us, but you did it wrong because we're canceling all of you, the FFC, Falana Family Cartel. If I find out that Falana is behind this, because right now, I've been vindicated, like I said, on the NSARS part. You can see what's happening when I kept telling you that all the people that organized this NSARS thing on the streets were all fraudulent. All the donations, all the money, they were spending your money. The people oppressing you, they were even collecting money from them. 100 million from the Lagos state government. For those who were shot, who were injured and all that. And guess what? Falana told them to accept it as a gift and just take it like that. Just fraud. A glorified thief who just misleads people. And everybody from Aisha Yusufu to Rinu to Kikimordi, anyone. Well, don't let me talk, because when I was saying this, people stopped tweeting with my name, because my name is trending out there on Twitter. Stop tweeting with my name. But Kemi Olunoyo told you. But Kemi, when I was telling you these things, you didn't listen. And this is what makes me an excellent journalist. I'm retired now, and I'm old. Okay? I'm older now, I'm tired, and I'm resting, and I'm doing a lot of PR for my clients around the world. That's what I do now, public relations. For companies, for individuals, I'm just doing my thing. But at the end of the day, what lesson have we learned here? I hope Adeyanju gets my message. I sent him a quick message not to testify. The VDM must request the presence of the media before he testifies. And you guys in the Nigerian media, we know that you're owned by the politicians and businessmen. Everybody from Nigerian Tribune to The Punch, to TVC, to AIT, to every single media, News Central channels and all that. You guys need to arise. You guys need to contest this stuff. You need to go to the Supreme Court of Nigeria and block that. The National Assembly has no authority, okay, to block your constitutional right in the Nigerian Constitution, the one called freedom of the press. The press has the right to cover a case that has such public interest of that magnitude. We have a cross-dresser. Nigeria has an anti-gay law, but we have a cross-dresser who is practicing homosexuality and who has been accused by a social media personality and activist of having homosexual affairs with some of these big politicians and lawmakers. I predicted this was going to happen. That being said, the law they passed in Jonathan's administration did not mention transgender, cross-dresser. It only mentioned gay and lesbian. That's the mistake they made. And you remember I fought them on this? I was the one fighting 10 years ago. Go Google my name and anti-gay law in 2014. And look at the mistake they made now. That's why Muyiwa Adejobi told you, the PPR of the force headquarters, that they can't arrest Bobrisky because he's not practicing homosexuality. He's just a cross-dresser. Now the godfathers have blocked the media. I'm going to fight this from where I'm sitting. Okay? Let me call a few people at the, Washington Post and New York Times and everything. You'll hear from me by the end of the day. Thanks for watching.